Hello, everybody, and welcome to Reviews That Don't Matter with Jessica Hitt. My name is Jessica Hitt, and on today's episode, we're going to be talking about the new comedy that's out the last couple weeks. It's going to be Blockers, originally known as, of course, Cock Blockers. Blockers stars, of course, John Cena of WWE fame, Leslie Mann, Ike Barinholtz as these parents who are trying to stop their daughters who have made a sex pact on prom night. They all need to have sex, and basically, it's just a whole bunch of hijinks, and to be honest, I was not planning on seeing this film. I saw the trailer, I'm like, oh, that looks kind of fun, I guess. But I don't know if I really want to go see that in theaters. And then this movie really benefits from great word of mouth. It's got really good reviews, and also, just in general, people who saw it, they came out laughing hysterically. They really, really liked this. So I decided to go see it. And while I think it's a really good film and it's very funny, I don't think it's as hilarious as I think a lot of people are finding it. The people around me in the theater were laughing from the get-go, and I'm somebody who firmly believes that, okay, let me start over. Basically, if you've watched any of my reviews, you know I can cry easily at films. I've mentioned this many a time. I don't know what it is, but I can cry at a film super easy. It's much harder to make me laugh at a film. And so while I'm enjoying the film and I think it's funny, I'm not really like laughing out loud during it, but then everybody in the theater around me, which I was like the youngest one, so a lot of people in their 30s and 40s and some in their 50s were really just thinking this was the funniest thing that's ever graced the earth. And I'm not gonna lie, when everybody around you is laughing hysterically and you're just kind of sitting there like, this is good, but like, you guys need to calm down, it does take you out of the movie a little bit. So it did take me a little bit to kind of get into it. But it does happen. I do start actually laughing out loud in this movie. I think the beginning really like sets the tone and is like, oh, okay, I know what these characters are like. I get it. I think the acting is great. Leslie Mann is always fantastic. I think this is probably the best role I've seen Leslie Mann in a really long time. Ike Barinholtz actually really impressed me. I haven't really been the biggest fan of Ike Barinholtz in the past, but this time he played more of the level-headed character in a way. And then also John Cena just really impresses me with his comedic work. I don't think he's much of a dramatic actor. Like, I don't think he's ever going to be like The Rock, but I do think comedically he's fantastic. He does a great straight man, and I'm going to read off their names because I cannot remember all of them. I've seen a couple of them in maybe several things, but I don't know. And to be honest, I think that they should be named, and also I think that they're going to have pretty good careers. Catherine Newton plays Leslie Mann's daughter. Gideon Adlon plays Ike Barinholtz's daughter, and then you have Geraldine Viswanathan. Probably mispronounced that, but she's fantastic. She plays John Cena's daughter, and she's probably my favorite of the trio of girls. But each of these girls has a very, they have different personalities, but you can see how they get along, and I actually find a lot of truth to that. Like, me and my group of friends from high school, all of us definitely had some similarities, and like we're pretty confident and all that kind of stuff, but we were all are different people, and we all were into different things, and so we did split off occasionally and do things, but we'd always come back, and that's kind of how I feel like this friend group worked, and I really liked that. It rang true to what I believe a friendship group in high school is, a bunch of girls. I also really liked the forward thinking on this, and the fact that they really took down the double standard that, if it was a guy trying to have sex on prom night, you'd just be like, oh yeah, you're gonna lose your V card. But then with a girl, it does tend to be like this loss of innocence bullshit. And so I liked how they tackled that a lot, and I think that comes from the first-time director of Kay Cannon, who did a great job. She's written many, many different movies, and they just kind of. She wrote this movie, and they decided, I watched an interview, and they were like trying to figure out who to get to direct this movie, and it finally clicked that, why don't we just have Kay Cannon do it? She wrote it, and she did a great job. She really did. There's nothing absolutely groundbreaking in this, but I do think that this story really helps from her point of view and her storyline. I really do. I don't think this could have worked maybe with another director or a different writer. Because this kind of story can definitely just not be good whatsoever. But this one somehow, while it brings laughs and has crazy moments that you're just like, what? it works because it has heart. And, these three girls who have these friendships, and they're all going on these different paths of of why they want to lose their virginity, whether it's because they're in a relationship that they love this guy and they want to be special or whatever, or one who is still trying to figure out her sexuality and really is just doing it so that way she doesn't feel excluded from her friends in a way, and this confusion building up within her. And then also you have somebody who's just very much like, let's just get it over with type of thing. And I like the different point of views on that. And I also liked the ending and, why everything makes so much sense. And, you see these bonding moments, but also these moments where it's just like there's fights within the parents and the kids. And it's really, really sweet. I actually really like this film. I did laugh at this film quite a bit. Definitely kind of once I more got into it, got, back sucked into the movie as opposed to being taken out by all the people who just thought this was the funniest thing ever. So I do think if you're my age, you're going to definitely enjoy the movie. You are. It's not always the type of sort of, I guess, millennial comedy. Like 21, 22 Jump Street is very much like young comedy, kind of improv-y in a way. It's very hip with like my age group. And then I think this one does kind of really service older people maybe in their 40s and 50s because it's a little bit more shocking, whereas like a lot of this stuff is, it's not that shocking to me that girls also want to have sex. It's not. And so that, I think people that are a bit older and kind of a different mind frame, they grew up in a different time, it's more outrageous to them. And that's exactly what this movie really relies on, is the outrageousness of these things to make it funny, which I like. Like I said, a lot of the stuff really landed for me. I don't think anything really missed for me. I thought the prom dates were great. There are a couple things that are a little unrealistic. Well, a lot of it's unrealistic, but like the part where they're doing like an after party in a hotel, and they basically just take the entire like 20th floor or something like that, and they're all just like out in the halls and doing all this stuff. I'm like, what hotel allows that? Like, they're definitely getting complaints from other people in this hotel, right? Like, that was not what we did when we were kids. Admittedly, it's been a while, but I still think that, that's a little extreme. I also think it's a little unrealistic that these three girls who you would assume have more friends only went with each other in their prom dates. My senior prom group was like 30 people. It was like 15 couples. So like that was a little unrealistic. Also, who gets limos? Nobody gets limos anymore. Like that's just lame for prom. Just drive yourself. But overall, like I said a million times in this review, really enjoyed it. Definitely recommend this to people. I don't know if you should go see it in the theater. There's a lot of stuff coming out that's really going to bury this movie. But I do think when it comes out on Blu-ray, rent it for sure. I think it's, it's a good, feel-good, sort of warming family comedy type of thing. That's a little on the dirty side. But I hope you guys liked this review. If you did, give it a thumbs up, comment down below. What are your thoughts on this movie, or just in general, like the actors or whatever, because I don't know if you guys have seen this movie. Also, don't forget to subscribe. I make videos Monday through Friday, and I will see you guys tomorrow.